All right, let me bring in John Patrick Dolan, criminal defense attorney, into this discussion. John, what do you make of this evidence, and especially the timing of this evidence on a couple of different levels? That is, one, what does it indicate about the prosecution's case coming up at this late date, and does it coming up at this late date have any effect on whether or not it's actually going to come before this jury?
Well, James, as you know, as an old California lawyer, in this kind of evidence, they have to give the discovery and give the names and the statements of the potential witnesses at least 30 days before trial in order to make this stuff usable. That's why the timing is what it is, because they had to produce that right before 30 days before trial. So tomorrow what's going to happen is now they're going to litigate whether or not this suggested evidence comes under the purview of 1108 of the Evidence Code. And remember, 1108, the Evidence Code section that allows prior sexual conduct, really distinguishes between prior convictions, and there are no prior convictions, and prior bad acts. So they're going to be talking about prior bad acts, and in order for those to come in, they must meet the scrutiny of, does the prejudicial effect outweigh the probative value? And that's where the big hearing is going to take place. I really think Judge Melville would be very reluctant to let any of this in, especially because there's a lot of reluctant witnesses, and because if it comes in, you have a 3-month trial that's going to be a 2-year circus. It's going to be trials within trials.
Absolutely, and certainly John Patrick Dolan. John, the parents, if these kids, now adults, somewhat older, are still unwilling to get on the stand, first question, can the prosecution, if this evidence was to come in, which I think is a big crooked letter in this case, whether or not it's going to come in at all, will the parents be of any use to the prosecution, and will their credibility be on the line?
Well, certainly their credibility would be on the line, but the question is, did they see or perceive anything they can testify to?
They would have to be witnesses?
They can't just come in and give character evidence.
Yeah.
And frankly, this is just backhanded character evidence, where normally the prosecution couldn't put on evidence of bad character. By bringing these prior acts, they can sort of sneak that in. But that might backfire on the prosecution, because when that comes in, then the character of Michael Jackson might be a concern, where we might be putting on Britney Spears and Macaulay Culkin and all the people who support Michael Jackson to support his character.
Yeah,
so they have problems with this evidence.
Fine line between the character